After making some mistakes last time out, we're back here again at Suzuka in the Super Formula cars to try and bring home a better result than this time out. Hey guys, and welcome along to another video. If this is your first time here and you are watching all sorts of sim racing related stuff, subscribe now and click the bell icon so you get notified of every video I upload and you don't miss a thing. We're going to jump straight into the action here as we get a clean start. The Brit on the right hand side doesn't, so we're straight up to 8th already. And as we come into turn number 1, I'm going to hang it round the outside of 7th as someone up ahead goes off there. But what that means is I'm going to have the inside coming into turn number 2. So I'm going to make the move stick here, but the whole pack are going to concertina effect up slightly into the S's. We're going to make contact but no penalty, and in the final part here, 5th is going to run wide, 7th is going to dive up the inside of me, all very close. Plenty of contact there, and I find myself on the outside coming through Dunlop. I'm going to give up that position to avoid being run out of road. So we're up to 6th here as we come under the bridge and out of section number 1. We're going to get contact from 7th under braking. Thankfully no SR down or penalty there, but to be fair to him, we did it earlier as well, because the issue with these cars is, and it's fairly obvious, there's no brake lights, which is something that we're all going to have to get used to as and when we use these cars. Now as I come out of Spoon here, I'm going to get on the loud pedal a little bit too much, having to correct it, but I managed to catch it without ending up in the gravel like last time out. But what that's done is ruin my momentum all the way up the hill, up and through 130R. But keep your eye on the radar there, the guy behind me times it wrong, and what that's meant is he's lost all his momentum, which eliminates any chance of him being able to make a move into the Casio triangle. Unbeknownst to us, up ahead there's been an issue and we've got a run on 6th place. We've made the move up to 5th, but keep your eye on 7th though. Using the overtake button, he's going to overtake him and pull alongside me. I give him room here, but he's going to hit me into turn number 1. Now I watched this back, and at the time of contact I was actually still on my side of the track, which is a bit frustrating. And we're also going to get absolutely swallowed up by the Brit and then hit by the German, who I can only assume is going to go and try a move around the outside there. Now the worst thing about going on that Astro is that you just can't get back on, and recovering is a pig. And I'm going to get onto the curbs here at Dunlop, unsettling the car. I managed just to hold on to 8th there, but glad he didn't go for it. Good job to that Italian guy there, because that would have ended up in absolute disaster. But it didn't happen, and whilst I must admit I am frustrated at this point, I've got to cool down and try and pull a gap to the guys behind and try and get after that Brit in 7th place. Rejoining the action here on lap number 3, the yellow flags are out because the Russian has gone off coming out of Spoon. So as I come past, I'm right not to trust the ghosting system here, as he ungoes right as I go past. You can even hear the contact, but thankfully there's been no penalty or SR down for that one. But we're up to 7th, and the hunt for the Brit up ahead continues. On the very next lap, as we come through 130R, we've closed right up on the Brit in front of him and are now in his slipstream. He's going to feel the pressure here. I thought he was going to leave the door open there, but he didn't, so I had to take evasive action coming out the Casio triangle there, which is going to lose me a boatload of time. So as you can see there, the overtaking icon is red because I'm pressing that to try and catch up. Now unfortunately what this is going to lead to is an incredibly sloppy lap by myself. So things are looking okay here as we're coming through the S's, already catching straight up on him where we lost time earlier, but now is where things are going to go pretty wrong for us. So I sloppily go wide coming out of the S's, and I go well wide in Dunlop here. Now obviously that's because I was trying to catch up and just pushing a little bit too hard, and the issues are going to continue here as I run wide on the exit of Degner 2, getting onto that Astro, which means I couldn't get the power down, and the German now is going to be right behind us. I missed the apex here, and I'm just going to light the tyres up coming out of the hairpin. So the German's going to have a run with his overtaking boost button into spoon. I'm just a sitting duck here, so he's going to make the pass, and I'm down to 8th after a poor lap by me. But I'm going to try and stay with him here, as I want to get my place back. So we're going to keep as close as we can coming down the back straight here, keep it flat through 130R, trying to stay in his slipstream. He's going to go defensive there. That's absolutely fine. So all that's going to do is sort of compromise his entrance and exit into the final corner. So we've made up more time there. I've got the boost button on here as we come across to start lap number 6. I'm using the overtake button to put him under as much possible pressure as we can. He defends well by hugging the pit wall, and to be fair to him, it was good driving by him and okay driving by me, as we both prove that two people can actually enter turn 1 together. Now this is our in lap, just like the last race that we did. We're going to come at the end of lap number 6. You can see the wear on the tyres are a little bit better. I think I was on -4 for this one after adjusting it in the race previous to this, but to be honest, I'd recommend -5. Get as much load off those front tyres as possible, meaning that they have as least stress on them as possible, keeping them as fresh as you can. Jumping forward slightly as we come into the final corner on this in lap. We've had a much better in lap this time, managed not to bin it onto the Astro at that last corner there, so we're now in with some new boots and a splash of fuel. So we're going to come out of the pits in 9th here, but crucially ahead of the German. Now I was quite surprised by this, so I'm not sure if he overfueled or what in the pit stop, but it's good for us as it saves trying to pass him on track, because what that means, it's going to lower the risk of us crashing, and it also, now that the new boost button is here, save us critical overtake that we may well need later on. Rejoining the action on lap number 8 here, coming under the bridge for sector 1, we've caught up to 7th, and 7th has caught up to the Brit in 6th. Now the German behind us has dropped off, showing how much of a touch it was for him to come out of the pits behind us earlier on. So you would have seen that I was using my boost button coming out of the hairpin, so we got a good run into spoon here. Now coming out of spoon, keep your eye on the Brit up in front. So he's actually going to squeeze the Russian there almost onto the grass. There's lots of contact between them coming all the way up the hill and through 130R. All the way up here, more contact as we enter the Casio triangle. In hindsight, I should have taken all of that contact as a warning sign and not trusted him at all, but I did. And as we come down the straight here, overtake button on, I'm going to try and go down the outside. And despite almost being a whole car clear, he keeps it in there, there's contact, and I am off again for the second time this race. Now he gets a 4-second penalty, so it's completely pointless for both of us, to be quite honest. I'm keen to know though who you think was at fault with that one. Please let me know in the comment section down below. I think, obviously being biased, that the contact was avoidable, and had he not been so aggressive, we would have been absolutely fine, and so on this occasion does GT Sport. But I'm not always right, so keen to know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. But either way, again, find myself on the outside losing yet more time, which we could just do without, to be quite honest. But we're going to push on, because his penalty will be being served at some point in the not too distant future. As we come out of spoon here, you'll be able to see him as he comes through the gates. He's going to be ghosted. The car's going to slam on the brakes. I'm going to avoid it because I don't trust that ghosting system, but you can just see how much that 4-second penalty did to him and how much it just wasn't worth it. Now, after all those fun and games, the Russian up in front is now 4 and a bit seconds up the road, and we've got the German guy now, not the Brit. Shows how much time the Brit lost with that penalty, but the German guy is 2.5 seconds behind. So again, we find ourselves on our own, which is going to give me quite a good opportunity to talk about the introduction of these cars, these Super Formula cars, or Formula Nippon as I used to know it, to Gran Turismo Sport. Now, I personally am really enjoying them. In the main, these handle well, I think. They're a bit sketchy at high speed, which is leading to a lot of collisions for the more aggressive drivers, as you've seen before, but I feel like these handle more like the GR2 cars than the F1 car, which is a massive positive for me. These cars and the Autopolis track is just another example as well of the new quality free content which you just can't knock, that GT Sport just keeps pumping out. Now, I hear the usual cries of we want Spa, and whilst I hope it does happen, I personally wouldn't be mad if it didn't. Now, as I've maintained all along, yes, this game has its issues and I'm the first one to point these ones out, but the amount of entertainment and what it's done for me personally, since I parted with £40 for it about 18 months ago, is unrivaled, and nothing else even comes close. And remember guys, some games don't give you free content at all, and some games make you pay for it. So I think we've just got to take a step back sometimes and remember what this game is actually giving us and what we've got, rather than worrying about what we don't have. As we come down to 130R in the final corner for the final time in this one, there wasn't too much to report. The good news is though that our car number was 12 and we're going to come home to take 7th, so we should see another continued rise in our driver rating. So here we are then, an 800 point driver rating rise, so I'm happy with that one and glad that I had another go at this one. But for now guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.